Hello and welcome to my workshop again. My name is Jacek and in today's video I will try to answer the question from one of my viewers how to connect encoder signals to this Chinese breakout board through the LPT port and to work with LinuxCNC. So on my lathe I'm using A signal, so A phase of encoder and index signal. And this is sufficient to do threading and fit per revolution. Everything works okay. So to connect the signals to this breakout board, we will be using this port here. So let me zoom in. So this is the generic Chinese board, and as you can see here we have the inputs. Here we have outputs, here we have the voltage 5 volts from the PC, and here we have the external power, which can be 12 to 24 volts, and the relay output and 0 to 10 volts output for the inverter if you are using one. So basically you can use any port from here to connect the encoder signals, but the only thing you need to remember is if you are working with the sensors like this I am using, these are just 5 volts tolerance, so you cannot connect them directly here. So to this demonstration I will use the induction sensor like this one, which will work with the 10 volts to up to 30 volts. So let's connect the sensor to the board and let's jump to the software to see if we can get the signal from the encoder signal. So in this case we have a signal which is black and the positive voltage here on the brown wire and the negative voltage, so ground, on the blue wire. Let's disconnect the external power supply so we do not destroy anything. We have a ground terminal here. Let's connect the signal to the pin 15 here on the board. And the brown wire will be the positive voltage, external voltage, which will be for us 12 volts. Let's power it up. As you can see, the sensors light up. Let's see if it works. We just use a small screwdriver to check if it's working. So now let's jump to the Linux software and let's see if we can get a reading out of it. Okay, so on a PC just go to the CNC part of the Linux. I will be using StatConf wizard because we are using LPT port. Let's start with a new configuration. Change the axis configuration to the lathe. I will be using metric and forward, and this is the part that we are interested in. So we have the parallel port, inputs and outputs, and as you remember I connect the signal to the pin 15, and basically what we want to choose here is the phase A of the spindle, and for the other signal will be the index pulse of a spindle. So let's put the phase A of a spindle. Let's go forward, back. Let's add the displaying spindle speed display to the graphic interface, so maybe you can see something on the program window. Let's go forward with this. Here is the spindle tab, and the thing that will interest us is a number of cycles. So basically it's a number of slots on a plate that we are using as an encoder on the spindle. So in my case it's 60 slots, so I will be putting here 60. Let's go forward. Let's save the configuration, and let's start the test setup. Enable the machine, and let's see if we can get any signal. Yeah. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just making some signal, and as you can see we have some RPM reading. So basically that's all for this connection. So the way you can check your signal easily is to go here and Hall measurement, and if you go to the signals you will have a spindle index and the spindle face A. So let's check if the signal change. Yeah, as you can see it's true, false, false, so everything's working okay. If you connect the index spindle to the other pin, just check it here. You have a spindle index, and if you put the correct number of slots of the encoder, as you can see I'm using this wheel with the cutouts, and it has 60 cutouts and one dipper for the index, and it was perfectly. So it's quite simple to configure, and you have ready widget for the spindle speed. So if you have any more questions, just ask in the comments. Oh, if you are like me trying to use these sensors that are only 5 volts tolerant, you can just bypass the optocouplers here. Just solder the wire directly to the leg of the optocoupler, but for the power of a sensor, use the ground voltage of the PC and 5 volts from a PC. So don't mess up your ground or your power with the external power, because you can easily break out your parallel port. So that will be all for today. I hope that it will help you. If you want to see more videos from me, just subscribe, and that's all. Thank you for today.